Good evening. Welcome to the Historic Preservation Commission meeting on this Thursday, November 13th, 2025. Hearings before the Historic Preservation Commission are quasi-judicial in nature. This is a design review process to determine if the proposed project is congruous with the special character of the historic district or landmark. Decisions of the Commission are based on the record of these proceedings, the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks, and the Secretary of the Interior Standards for Rehabilitation. Evidence submitted to the Commission for review becomes part of the record. Appeals of Commission decisions are made to the Wilmington Board of Adjustment and then to the Superior Court and based on the record. Appeals must be filed within 30 days of the date of the Commissioner's action. Evidence is received during the evidentiary hearing portion of an agenda item. Those who want to address the Commission are sworn as witnesses to present material and substantial evidence to the Commission. The Chair recognizes those who want to submit such evidence during the evidentiary hearing. Evidence should be directed to the Commission. To ensure that evidence is properly recorded, please come to the podium to address the Commission, state your name and address, and speak clearly. Members of the Historic Preservation Commission are appointed by the City Council and serve at its discretion. Our responsibility is to protect and preserve properties within the city's designated historic district. We adhere to the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks, as well as applicable North Carolina state law, to assess whether exterior changes align with the unique character of the city's historic districts. It is important that we deliberate the merits of each request in a manner that provides a record of the basis for our decisions. Please remember that our deliberation should center on how our project meets the design standards and whether the proposed change is congruous or not. Commissioners, if you have received or been made aware of any outside evidence related to any of the matters, please recuse yourself. Please turn off or set your cell phones to silent mode. Thank you. Introducing our staff. Gina Essay as Assistant City Attorney, Brian Chambers, Assistant Planning Director, Ben Riggle, Historic Preservation Planning Manager, Aidan Finholm, Historic Preservation Planner, Hillary Taylor, Planner 2, Amy Bradshaw, Planning Coordinator, Catherine Thurston, Zoning Administrator. I'm going to ask the commissioners to introduce themselves. I am Joan Kiston, serving as the chairman this evening.
Stephen Sulkey.
Ashley Wilson.
Allison Watts.
Beth Rutledge.
The staff will now swear in any witnesses who wish to speak this evening. Please stand.
If I could have all staff, applicants, and members of the public, if you wish to speak tonight, you'll need to stand and raise your right hand. You must be sworn in order to speak tonight, so please, if you plan to speak, please stand up. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay, first we're going to review the minutes from the October meeting. Does anybody have any comments to make, edits?
Yeah.
May I have a motion, please?
A motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The minutes are so approved. We need to, the first item on the agenda is going to be continued. We need a motion for that.
Okay.
Motion to continue item 1 on tonight's agenda.
Is that being continued till December?
Correct.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so passed.
Okay.
Item number 2.
That's October's number 2.
Here we go.
Evening, Commissioners. Case 2 was continued from the October Commission meeting and is for the proposed subdividing of the existing lot, construction of an access road, and the construction of a new small house at 515 South 3rd Street. As described in the Wilmington Historic District Boundary Expansion Report, the Mahler House, constructed circa 1910, is a hipped roof, 2-story house with projecting pedimented bay with a flattened polygonal bay window. The pediment features a triangular vent window. A hipped roof porch supported by slender paired Doric columns terminates with a large gazebo with conical roof. The subject house is a contributing resource to the Historic District residential, and as such, revisions to all facades of the building and the site are subject to design review in this district. The subject property is located on the east side of South 3rd Street, approximately mid-block between its intersection with Church Street and Castle Street. The applicant proposes to subdivide the lot to allow for the construction of a small new dwelling on the rear portion of the property. The applicant will be working with the Technical Review Committee, the TRC, to make sure the property is subdivided appropriately as required by development regulations. The rear portion of the parcel where the proposed small dwelling will be is currently a maintained grass lawn with a large healthy tree at the corner of the existing patio is planned to be retained. The applicant proposes to install a roadway with a 12-foot easement to allow access to the proposed new dwelling at the rear of the property. The proposed roadway will be constructed to meet code and will be concrete with a brushed surface. The proposed roadway will extend along the existing dirt and gravel driveway accessed by an existing concrete apron. Additional design guidance provided by engineering has advised that the garden wall at the front of the house may be impacted by the 12-foot clearing opening for the right-of-way as required by the code. Also, a flare to the north side of the apron mouth will be required, while the south flare may be waived to protect a mature tree. Engineering recommends that HPC approve the flares to be installed, quote, as required by the TRC, end quote. The applicant proposes to construct a small new dwelling on the newly established lot at the rear of the existing property. The proposed new dwelling will be 1-story, 14 feet, 8 inches in height, and will feature a front gable configuration with a roof pitch of 5/12. The new dwelling will rest on a concrete slab foundation and will have a heated area of 732 square feet. A 40 square foot covered front porch and a 155 square foot covered rear porch provide a total roofed area of 927 square feet for the proposed new dwelling. At the request of the Commission, the applicant has updated the design of the proposed new dwelling to include ornamental brackets in the front-facing gable, panelized square columns supporting the front porch, lintel-type headers matching the proposed trim over the windows on the front elevation, and 1x10 trim board on the bottom of the front elevation. The side and the floor plan will remain unchanged. The proposed front door will be a mahogany door with an upper 6 light with clear glass, while the rear door will be a half-light fiberglass door with blinds and clear glass. The proposed windows will be 4/1 Harvey Tribute double-hung windows in vinyl. The new dwelling will be clad in hardy 7-inch lap siding, smooth side out, painted with Sherwin-Williams Bushnell paint with 1 inch by 8 inch hardy board band and a 6-inch corner board in white. The roof will be sheathed with GAF slate-lined weathered slate asphalt shingles. Staff notes the following. The applicant will complete the TRC process regarding subdividing the lot to ensure the process follows the city's requirements. The proposal to upgrade the existing driveway to a 12-foot roadway meeting code is required to allow emergency vehicle access to the proposed new dwelling. Views of the proposed new dwelling will be likely from South 3rd Street once the new roadway is constructed, but a small size will keep it from becoming a major intrusion into the historic district. Although the existing backyard is surrounded by privacy fence, the proposed new dwelling will be visible from the second stories of the neighboring houses. If approved, staff recommends the following conditions. All windows and door glazing shall be clear with no tint. No healthy, mature trees or historic landscaping shall be removed as a result of this project. All required construction right-of-way permits shall be obtained before construction begins. All construction shall meet code, and any proposed changes shall be reviewed. Staff would also like to add the following conditions: that all hardy/fiberboard material shall be installed smooth side out with the texture side hidden. The garden wall and driveway flare shall be redesigned and installed as required by the TRC. Staff would like to enter the presentation and report into tonight's proceedings. Are there any questions?
Questions for staff?
I do not.
Thank you, Ben. Now I'd like to open up the evidentiary, I'm sorry, if the applicant would like to step forward, please, and add any information or discuss this.
I don't have any more information, but I think we added the details that
Sir, could you please state
Oh,
your
yes.
name and your address for the record?
Kevin Gear, 3216 Bougainville Way.
Any questions for applicant? Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to open up the evidentiary portion of the meeting. If anyone would like to speak about this project, either in favor or against, please come to the podium, state your name and address. Since no one wants to do that, we'll close that portion. Council deliberations, commission deliberations?
I'm happy they improved, and yeah, I'm good.
Okay, motion, anyone?
I'll do a motion.
You need to add in the extra things that the staff added.
Okay. Where am I here? Okay. I move to approve with conditions the request to subdivide the existing lot, construct an access road, and build a small new house for the property located at 515 South 3rd Street. The request is consistent with the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks based on the evidence provided, including the application and all attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing, and the staff report. Conditions 1 through 5, and now some modifications to the flares for the easement, and what was the other
Hardy
thing?
plank,
The what?
the Hardy.
Oh, and, yes, the Hardy. I guess, yeah, that's it.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll move to item number 3.
Good evening, Commissioners. Case number 3 is a request for a roof replacement at 323 South 4th Street. This application was continued from the November 9th, 2025 meeting to request additional clarification and project details from the applicant regarding the proposed roofing material change. The Sutton Bergwin House located at 323 South 4th Street was constructed circa 1850 and is a contributing resource within Historic District residential. As such, revisions to all facades of the building and site are subject to design review. The subject property is located at the northeast corner of the South 4th Street and Nunn Street intersection. At the October 9th, 2025 meeting, the applicant proposed to replace the existing shingles on the front porch roof, as well as the front-facing roof of the house with a standing seam metal roof. The applicant has revised the project to replace the entire roof with standing seam metal. The proposed roofs will consist of 16-inch wide, 20-gauge galvanized flat seam panels with fasteners concealed from view, like the example on the right. Flashing around the chimney will be replaced, and a metal ridge cap will be installed on the roof. A photo of the subject house from circa 1966 was found in the city's archives, appearing to show the porch roof with a standing seam metal roof at the time. The applicant has additionally submitted photos of similar Greek Revival houses in Wilmington, known as Wilmington Plains, that are identical to the subject house with standing seam metal roofs. And they have reiterated their desire to improve the quality and strength of the roof of both their house and their front porch by installing the same. If approved, staff recommend the following conditions. The proposed metal roofing shall match the house and be flat channeled with no striations. The existing roofing material to be removed shall be properly disposed of and not left on the property. All construction shall comply with code and changes shall be reviewed. Staff would like to enter the presentation and report into the record of tonight's proceedings. The applicant could not attend tonight, but we're happy to answer any questions that you may have on their behalf.
Yeah, same as last month. The pictures are not clear. It's like page 6, is it? The picture's from 1966. Was that a metal roof or shingle? I mean, it looks like it's almost metal on the main house, but it's so kind of,
It's definitely shingle on the main house.
It was definitely shingle
It's
back in
definitely
'66.
in
So
66, yeah.
The house has never had a standing seam roof that you know of.
We do not have any photos showing it with a standing seam roof.
No, okay, that's what I was, but the porch did.
Yeah, from that photo,
From
I
that.
am pretty comfortable to say that was a standing seam roof
Okay.
at that time.
All right.
I think last month the question was also, is it going to be black? Because that, the reference photo and then in the details, it talks about it being black.
From our correspondence with the applicant, they did not specify the color of the roof. They can pick, if you have a color that you prefer, we can state that to the applicant.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Opening up the evidentiary portion of the meeting, if anyone would like to step forward to speak to this project. I'll close the evidentiary portion. Any deliberations from the commission?
I'm curious about the color, because I don't want to dictate that. That feels funny, right? Seems like they should specify that. But does it make a difference?
I mean, I think a black standing seam roof is just kind of unusual. I don't know that I've seen any around town. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, it seems like something that, I mean, we could pick one, I guess, but if they,
I still don't think we know why they are changing it at this point.
I have no problem with the standing seam. I'm fine with that. I just was kind of, I don't know, the black is kind of jarring, but.
I think
if
it's
that's what they
actually
want.
great if people are taking them off, we're putting them on. That's great that we're adding on a standing seam.
I think we approved a house on Chestnut, maybe 608, 610 or something like that, and that was a shingle roof, and we had them, or we allowed them to put on standing seam. And it was a little ambivalent on the house if it ever had it or not. I mean, frankly, I'd be much more comfortable if they said, oh yeah, back in, whenever there was a standing seam was removed, but again, I don't know. I'll see what the rest of the commission thinks about it.
I definitely agree that a standing seam, going from a shingle to a standing seam is better than going from a standing seam to a shingle
Right.
because of the, deflection and,
Agreed. Yeah.
nightmares with that. But I was just curious why they,
I have a question for, we no longer require review for color of homes, correct?
Paint.
Paint colors.
That's correct.
So is there any requirements about roof coloring? Is that subject to review at all?
I don't believe that it is based on, I don't know that we can dictate colors or that it is subject to review.
So then that's a moot point.
Yeah. I'll make a motion. I move to approve with conditions the request for roof replacement, changing the materials from shingles to standing seam metal for the property located at 323 South 4th Street. This request is consistent with Wilmington design standards for historic districts and landmarks based on the evidence provided, including the application and all attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing, and the staff report.
Any second?
second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Item number 4.
Case number 4 is for the proposed renovation project at 505 South Fifth Avenue that includes replacing all siding, trim, soffits, and fascia, constructing new egress stairs at the rear of the building, and adding a fire escape for the second-story apartment at the back. The applicant has also noted that plumbing changes to separate the water and sewer service to each unit will occur. As described in the Wilmington Historic District Boundary Expansion Report, the house at 505 South Fifth Avenue was constructed in circa 1910 and is one of several similar dwellings constructed along South Fifth Avenue during the early 20th century. The hipped roof, two-story side passage dwelling features a projecting pedimented bay. A full facade, one-story hipped roof porch supported by square columns extends along the front west elevation of the house. The subject house is a contributing resource to the Historic District residential, and as such, revisions to all facades of the building and site are subject to design review. The subject property is located on the east side of South Fifth Avenue, 3 parcels south of its intersection with Church Street. Photographs from circa 1999 and circa 1982 seen on this slide show that the house has experienced some changes over the years, including to its windows and roofing material. The applicant proposes to replace the existing deteriorated wood clapboard siding with LP Smart Side wood composite siding with a cedar wood grain. Moisture is causing rot, particularly at the junction points and edges of the wood siding. The new siding will be primed on all sides and will be painted on the outside surface. The wood composite siding has superior water and termite resistance compared to regular wood siding. Any framing or structural decay or damage identified once the existing siding is removed will be addressed during the project. The applicant proposes to replace the deteriorating wood trim and fascia with LP strand trim brushed smooth 5/4 primed and painted the same color painted the same color to match the dimensions of the original trim. The applicant also proposes to replace the deteriorated wood soffit with new 3/8 inch plywood wood soffit painted white to match the existing soffit and similar to soffits in the neighboring houses. The applicant proposes to replace the existing non-historic 2/2 wood frame windows with new Victor-built traditionals, historic and estate series wood frame windows in the same size, configuration, and location as the existing windows. The applicant will be using the Victor-built traditional series with a casement and awning for the project. The applicant proposes to construct new egress stairs at the rear of the house from the second-story apartment to the ground. The proposed stairs will be constructed of pressure-treated lumber and will be similar to the existing steps. The applicant proposes to install a new folding aluminum fire escape ladder at the rear of the house to provide another emergency egress point for the second story of the house. The proposed fire ladder will be a modem foldable fire escape ladder that is certified by the IC Building Code Council as ESR-4824. The proposed rear stairs and fire ladder will not be visible from the public right-of-way, and the photo on this slide shows an example of the folded-up fire ladder at rest. If approved, staff recommends the following conditions. All materials removed from the house as a result of the project shall be disposed of properly. The size and configuration of the existing window opening shall not be altered. All glazing shall be clear with no tint. No mature trees or historic landscaping shall be removed as a result of the proposed project. All construction shall meet code, and any proposed changes to the project shall be reviewed. Staff would like to enter the presentation and report into tonight's proceedings. Are there any questions?
Any questions for staff?
I have one.
Yeah.
This material, polymer, does this qualify as wood or plastic?
It's a wood composite.
It's a composite.
Yep.
So zoning, basically, the code would call it wood. Is that what?
I took it as a change of material, and that's why I brought it as a major work.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
my question as well.
Question two.
Is it wood or is it a composite product?
It is a composite product. It was wood and polymer composite together.
It's not like for like?
No.
It's not.
The
Okay.
applicant might be able to speak more to it.
Okay.
I do believe I might have a couple samples in my office as well of it.
And please forgive me because I'm not sure if this is relevant, but have we approved this product before?
On new construction, I do believe so. Not in my memory I've only been here a year, so I don't think we've done it since I've been here.
Okay.
We don't usually, that I remember, allow composite on old homes
Right.
replacement.
Right.
That's the
Right.
thing.
Okay.
But it's more like hardy plank kind of concrete that I'm referring to, so I'm not sure if the wood would be any different.
That's why because I wasn't sure how
Yeah.
you guys would interpret it either.
The other thing is, I think the application says like the cedar texture side out,
Yeah, which,
where that would be a non-starter.
We can flip it smooth side if you guys
yeah.
would prefer.
Yeah, because I noticed that in the app.
Yeah.
We don't do that, though.
Okay, but since it
It's
wasn't
never
hardy
been-
plank, I wasn't sure. The applicant wanted the side. I brought it as the applicant proposed it.
okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Let maybe the applicant then speak, and if he has a sample of this stuff or something, it would help.
Would the applicant like to come forward? Please state your name and address.
I'm Lon Livingood, 516 South 8th Street.
Dave Wolschlager, 416 Queen Street.
I'm
I'm
the
sorry,
applicant.
sir, can you repeat that into the mic?
Sorry.
The microphones didn't pick up your
I
name.
talk very softly. It's Dave Wolschlager, and it's 416 Queen Street.
Okay, we have samples. Part of the reason I want to do this, this is wood, and he can explain this better. He is from Lansing, and Lansing supplies this material. You know, I've worked downtown quite a bit, and I see houses with the traditional southern pine siding, and if you don't paint all four sides and put either a moisture wicking material or stand it out on some little slabs, because we now live in a modern way where our houses are cold and the outside is warm, condensation comes onto the back of traditional wood, and it fails, you know, in 10 to 15 years. Part of the reason we're doing this, originally I had just a bypass application to fix some rot around the existing windows, and then when I took a few pieces off, I realized we had extensive water damage, and basically the work that was done by a permit pulled in the early 2000s was done improperly, and there was extensive wood and insect damage. And my client was obviously upset having spent a lot of money then. So now she's going to spend a lot of money with me now. We have an opportunity to give her a long-term solution, and I want to use a wood product that if Ben comes back with a sample, 10 feet away, you can't tell that it's not just regular plank. It looks the same, it cuts the same. Unlike hardy board, it's not hazardous for the guys to work with. You know, it's just regular sawdust, regular tools, and it installs. And it doesn't, because it has termite. What do you call that? It has a termite thing in it. It has chemicals in it that resist insects, and it's weather resistant. It offers a better solution for my client while still maintaining the look from the street as the rest of the houses on the street, and that's why we want to use it. Do you?
And to the point that he was saying that it's like a polymer and composite, it's not. It's a wood material, and then they use the polymer, the composite, and gets compressed. So it's formed into these trims. So it's a wood trim that's treated, and you said something about the wood grain. They make it in wood grain and smooth for trim as well as lap siding. So we can do a smooth. That's no problem. We can do smooth trim or wood grain trim as well. Yeah, because when you look at all the siding downtown, it's smooth. We Yep. don't use the grain. Okay. Yep. Yeah. And Okay. with the hardy board that they said earlier about flipping it onto the smooth side, they make it smooth or it's wood grain, one or the other. So just so you guys are aware. But I work with Lansing Building Products, so I do exterior cladding. So if you guys, honestly, I'll leave some cards if you guys have any questions.
Can we see it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So these are the two trims. This is going to be a 5/4 board, a 1-inch board that has the smooth, the matte finish, and then this is going to be a 3/4 trim board that has the wood grain texture, so you can see that as well.
So you said that it's wood that has the polymer kind of like pressed into it.
Sir, you have to go to the microphone. I'm sorry, everything is recorded, and so it needs to be within the microphones.
No, you're right. The process is similar to how they make like OSB board, where it's wood chip.
Okay.
And then it's treated, and then it's formed, and it's made into the lap, and then the trim boards.
What type of wood is it?
It's a very good question. I'll look and find out.
It does look like OSB board. Okay.
Why wouldn't you prime it? Just prime your wood.
Did you find the map?
I didn't find what I wanted. Yeah, this is a,
It's an engineered.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to interrupt you. Do you have the samples still sitting up there?
Yeah,
Okay.
we do.
Up here.
So just for looks, this is just a regular piece of cedar. And if I can approach, I'll put it beside that and you can just look and see what the difference in texture is. So this is regular wood. Put 'em,
These are the two laps. This is the smooth, this is the smooth, this is the wood grain.
Okay, yeah.
Those are the actual lap pieces.
So we also have the smooth and the wood grain, and I'll approach and pass those up if you're okay.
Thank you.
That's the green. When you said, okay, so this sample of the trim, the back looks like OSB board, the flakes glued together, and then the front has, so what you're saying is there is a material without the grain is completely smooth?
No,
Or you're gonna, because you can't flip this and paint it.
No, the piece is coming along there.
Oh, we got another.
That is a smooth piece, yeah.
Okay. Here we are.
And each one of those in the literature has a spec sheet, with all of the pertinent details.
This material, is there any kind of, I know it's early, I guess, if it's a new material, I mean, is it rated for like 50 years or 100 years? Or
50 years.
50 years.
50 years, and it's not a new material. It's been out for a very long time.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, new for us here.
Oh, yeah, no, totally, yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
also new here, so I've only been here a couple
Okay.
years.
Okay.
Stephen, there's another one.
Yeah.
Anything else for the applicant?
I have one other thing. My client, when I drew that set of back stairs that took up basically half the yard, she wanted to not do that and just do the egress ladder and not build that pressure-treated monstrosity in the back. So I would like to not do that if and maybe that's a question for New Hanover County, but not for you guys. And that, of course, there's nothing historic about it. It's modern pressure-treated wood made to, stair compliant, North Carolina Building Code 2018. But I believe we can satisfy the second-story egress with the cute little fold-up ladder that is fire rated and just looks like a piece of gutter on the side of the house, and also is not really visible from South 5th Street.
You have no pictures of that, though?
I do.
Next to the last slide.
Yeah, is this slide with the,
Next one. Oh, yeah, that one.
that one?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's an egress ladder. And actually, one of my site plan drawings shows the location of the ladder with no egress stairs. If you go back.
One up. There it is.
Yeah, and then, we just put this stairs. There's an upstairs porch I don't know if there's a back picture. Okay, so right beside that porch, there's a door, and it's very easy to just come out that back door to the porch, pull the pin on the ladder, and, climb down the ladder down the side of the house. It's, you know, literally 3 steps from the door. And my client wants to do that rather than building the huge set of stairs. It's
that-
also,
And that's the only way in and out of the second floor?
well, there's the front stairs that you get in normally, but if that were to be engulfed in
Safety.
flames,
Gotcha.
you'd have secondary egress that way.
Yeah.
Secondary, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, this stair portion, you know, adds almost $12,000 to the project. So that's why she was hemming and hawing. I know that doesn't mean anything to you folks, but that was one of her concerns.
Okay, anything else you'd like to add?
Let me just. Oh, in the plywood soffit, because this is a modern house, or it's heated and cooled as a modern house, you know, original soffit, of course, you guys know, had no soffit vent.
Right.
But two places down on the same side, they have the classic soffit, metal soffit vent, and I would like to also do that so that the house is vented correctly and there isn't any kind of heat or moisture issue in the attic with the insulation and things like that. And because, you know, literally the one next door is like that, they look very similar. And only folks like you or Ben would be able to look up and say, oh, that is not original. But I'd like to do it to help preserve the integrity of the building and the insulation and keep out mildew and things and have you know, have it work according to North Carolina Building Code.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant?
No.
No? Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
We'll open up the evidentiary portion of the meeting. If anyone would like to come forward to speak to this project, either for or against it. In that case, we'll close that portion. Commission deliberation?
Well,
I don't know.
The stairs are beyond our preview.
I agree.
And I don't have a problem with the soffit vent.
Ms. Wilson, can you speak into your
I
mic?
don't have a problem with the soffit vent, but I do have a problem with the composite material because it's never been approved, and you know, putting the proper siding on it and priming it.
Yeah, the thing is that the issue is about what is appropriate in the historic district. It is replace like with like. We have lots of homes with wood siding. We live in a damp climate. If you prime appropriately and you take care of the siding appropriately, you're still going to have to take care of that siding often. It's kind of it's what happens where we live. I think the struggle here is that a composite is not a historic material. The other thing is that we are instructed in the guidelines to, you know, repair whenever possible, and when you're repairing, you are repairing with like materials. You wouldn't, it would not be appropriate to repair wood with this material for a historic property. Well, it would be with a new build, because that's not old wood siding. That's my take. I'd be interested to.
That's my take.
well, I guess really a lot of the question, you know, the standard is replace wood with wood. Now we're saying composite, but if the composite is, what is this stuff, 90% wood, but then glued together like OX? I mean, I don't know. I'm a little ambivalent on that. And the thing too is I hear a lot of complaints about the cost of maintenance for these homes, which is a, I think, valid complaint. So if there's a more modern wood that's a composite that doesn't rot in 15 years. And believe me, I know all the techniques, paint the whole, I mean, you name it, but it is a struggle. And it's 2025, maybe. You know, another thing, it seems like more and more this commission is tasked with appearance, not necessarily what something is behind the paint. So if a material if it's looks the same when this is done as if it was wood, you know, then is it violating that? I mean, the house is still going to look just the way it was 50, 70 years ago. So I'm kind of, I don't know. You remember a couple months ago, I brought up that, and this house is also, if you notice, very close to the house next door.
Yes.
That even maybe some of these homes, we'd allow fiber cement board on the side facing the other home for fire resistance. So, you know, again, I know the code, I know the wood, I know what you're saying, but again, is this, when we say composite, is composite like an alien thing, totally not wood, or is this just wood with a little polymer thrown in there to make it resistant to bugs and rot?
It's not alien, and in fact, we use composite materials for pillars because we can't get 100% wood pillars anymore. But if you can get wood siding,
oh, yeah, I understand.
you're in the historic district, the guideline says to replace like with like. I have to say, from a personal standpoint, I agree with you that there are going to be products that continue to evolve, and there are HPCs all over the country now that allow hardy board.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's possible that our standards would change at some point. The way that I'm interpreting the standards, and I'm not saying I'm correct, I'm saying the way that I interpret it. The way I interpret it is that you replace like with like.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that I see it, this isn't the material for the historic district, which is not to say that it's not a great material. It's just the way that I'm interpreting it, it's not fitting for this historic home.
And I think there's a dilemma, a lot to do with we are able to progress in terms of development. Where do we stop? Where do we allow things to become current, even though we preserve the historic nature? My only concern is what we've done with everybody else, and it's always been requiring that it is wood when it's wood.
Right.
But it's a
Because
it's a
we
dilemma.
follow the design standards, and if we stop doing that, we might as well not be here.
Well, I think
Except
a lot
what
of those cases.
Steve said, it is wood. It's a little different than the concrete composite.
Yeah, but I think a lot of those cases we're talking about, they were wanting to put like hardy board or some other totally non-wood material, and we said wood. I mean, I don't remember someone coming up with this whole idea of composite siding before.
No, I don't remember it being wood either.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, maybe that's something that, you know, that we study on or look at some other districts, but at this point, the design standards that we go by say that we replace like with like.
well, I want to remind the commissioners, we just allowed a standing seam metal roof on a shingle roof, and that's not exactly like with like. I mean, we can vary some here.
Yeah.
As long as it's congruous, right?
Congruent. And if it looks, well, my point is, if this material looks just like wood, okay, on this house when it's all done, then how is it not congruent when it comes to the visual in the historic district?
You can get wood.
Yeah, you can.
I feel like the gray area here is that it is wood. Like, you wouldn't say OSB is not wood. Like, this is basically that. It's not the planks that we're expecting, but it seems like it's kind of a gray area, like this is wood. So I don't really know, I don't know how we respond. I'm torn.
I mean, I've always considered
Got a dilemma
OSB
here.
a wood product.
Well, I think we all need to take a vote because I don't think we're going to move anybody off of their position unless staff or Gina have anything to add to help us in this question.
I have nothing to add. I'm not envious of the decision you need to make here, though.
Okay, I guess if we wanted to start a motion?
To approve or deny, what are we motioning?
I can't do it.
I could add a little bit, because I do believe the guidelines say historic wood siding, and the siding that's on there is not old. It's a relatively newer, well, that's why they're rotten,
Yeah.
because it's not holding up like the old wood. So it's not historic wood, but it is definitely wood.
That we're replacing, they're replacing.
Correct, that's up there now, is a wood, for sure.
I move to approve with conditions the request to replace all siding, trim, soffit, and fascia, and to add the foldable fire escape and soffit vent. Fire escape ladder at the rear of the building for the property located at 505 South Fifth Avenue. This request is consistent with the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks based on the evidence provided, including the application and all attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing, and staff report.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Nope.
The motion fails 3-2. 3 in favor, 2 against, because we needed to reach a 4 to make it pass because of the numbers on the commission, so it fails. Item number 5, is there anything to add to that? Look like they want to talk, no? Item number 5, please. Okay, go ahead, thank you.
Hearing 5 is for proposed exterior renovations of 722 Red Cross Street. 722 Red Cross Street is located on the southeast corner of Red Cross and McCrae Street and is believed to be constructed sometime after 1955. The house is listed as a non-contributing resource to the Historic District Residential. Revisions to all facades of a building and the site are subject to design review in this district. 722 is a colonial revival style 2-story brick home with a gable shingle style roof, and a brick single car garage. The applicant proposes replacing the roof in kind with asphalt shingles. The replacement shingles will match the existing color and style. The applicant proposes to replace siding on dormers, and the new material will be LP Smart Side wood composite siding. The applicant proposes to replace the soffits and trim with 3/8 plywood painted white with ventilation. Here is a detailed photo of the soffits, trim, and fascia on the south elevations looking northwest, and the detailed soffits on the front north elevation looking west. The applicant proposes replacing the existing 2/2 horizontal pane double hung casement windows with Victor-built Traditions double hung windows, the same size and location as current windows. Here are some examples of proposed Victor-built Tradition windows according to the Victor-built website that are treated wood material. The replacement windows will be clear without tint. The applicant proposes to replace the front door to a 6 light espresso pre-finished mahogany with brick mold. The applicant proposes to replace the southeast doorway to a Craftsman Deco black fiberglass exterior door. The current placement is unable to be seen from the right-of-way. The applicant proposes replacing the garage door with a CHI overhead door model number 4283 in mahogany. The color is not displayed here. The applicant proposes on adding a new fence, a 4-foot fence in the northeast corner to encase the HVAC system, and a new fence along the south and west borders with a 6-foot treated pine estate style by Two Brothers Fencing. If approved, the staff recommends the following conditions. All door and window glazing shall be clear with no tint. All materials removed from the house during the project shall be disposed of properly. No mature trees or historic landscaping shall be removed because of the proposed project. All construction shall comply with codes and regulation, and changes to the project from those described shall be reviewed by the Historic Preservation Commission and/or Historic Preservation staff. The staff would like to enter the presentation and report on the record of tonight's proceedings. Are there any questions?
I have a couple. The shingles are just going to be replaced. Why did that have to come in front of the commission? It's
Same application.
just same, that's the only
Yeah.
reason? Okay. And the dormers have, looks like German lap siding. Is that going to be replaced with German lap siding or some other siding?
I can let the current agent right here know. It is going to be Alon, who is currently here today,
Okay,
speak on that.
okay.
It's going to Matt, yeah.
It is, Matt. Oh, okay.
The windows, I think they're 2/2. The pictures you guys were showing were just 1/1. Is that?
I think that's a salesman sample.
Oh,
Okay. So they'll be 2/2.
Yeah.
They'll match the windows that are in there.
Mhm.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Yeah.
Would the applicant like to step forward and answer questions, or? Please state your names again.
Lon Living Good, 516 South 8th Street.
Dave Walschlager, 416 Queen Street.
So once again, we wanted to, we were hoping to get the LP siding approved so that we could also use it on the dormers on this project. You know, our client owns both buildings, and we thought we would do her a solid by putting better siding on. And so we were proposing the same exposure, but using LP siding instead of the wood that was on there. Other than that, everything else is the same. And this house, you know, is, although it's in the historic district, it's 1955. There's not much that's
Not contributing.
really historic about it, like the 505 house. So if the commission would consider letting us use the LP on this one, since there's, you know, it doesn't look like anything, and it doesn't even look like any of the neighboring houses. And also, in a couple of months, there's going to be a brand-new build right across the street at McRae that won't look like it either. So that's why we're asking for LP. So that's all I got to say.
Any questions for the applicant?
Is it a non-contributing?
It's not
It is
non-contributing.
non-contributing, right, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Open up the evidentiary portion if anyone wishes to come forward and speak in favor or against. Close that portion. Commission deliberations. I guess we're back to the same issue on the composite wood.
Deja vu all over again. I mean, yeah, especially this is a non-contributing house, but
I feel differently because it's a non-contributing house. However, it's getting up there, right? So it's a sticky one.
Here's the dormers for the commission's review.
I mean, it is a brick house, it's just the dormers, I know.
So the house is what, 70 years old?
How old is this house?
55.
55?
80.
75? 70 years old.
So if there's a survey, if there's a new survey, where does this fall in a new survey?
It's being conducted.
Great. Okay.
I would also like to note that the house is not for sure built in 1955. The Sanborn maps dictate it built after 1955, so it could be around a later period that it could be built as well. But it
Okay.
first came to note in the 1955 Sanborn maps.
So it could be older. Younger. Could be younger.
Could be younger, yes.
Well,
Would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. I move to approve with conditions request for replacement of roof, dormer, siding, trim, fascia, soffits, and wood fence for the property located at 722 Red Cross Street. This request is consistent with the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks based on the evidence provided, including the application and all attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing, and the staff report, conditions of approval 1 through 5.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I don't know.
Well, you got to vote. Did you vote?
I am going to vote to approve it because it is non-contributing.
Because it's non-conforming, that's what I'm leaning toward too, but it pains me. I'm concerned for the integrity of our historic districts.
So what is
and
your vote?
My vote is, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, the motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
With my editorializing, sorry.
Item number 6, sorry.
Where are we here? 6.
Case number 6 is for the proposed replacement of the windows at 1707 Princess Street with a change in material. As described in the Carolina Heights Historic District National Registered nomination dated 1999, the J. Holmes Davis House, constructed circa 1908, is a 2-story hipped roof house featuring a colonial revival adaptation. The house is 5 bays in width with a central front door flanked by 2 small bungaloid sash windows and capped with a transom. The remaining windows are larger bungaloid sash 5/1 wood frame units. The second story of the central bay is recessed with a centered door with a transom. The second story door provides access to a second story porch area over a partial width attached front porch with flat roof on the east side of the house. The porch is supported by the square columns resting on a brick balustrade. The house is a contributing resource to the Carolina Heights Winoka Terrace Historic District overlay. Only that which can be seen from the public right-of-way, excluding alleys, is subject to design review. For this house, the front and side, east and west elevations can be seen from the public right-of-way. The subject property is located on the north side of Princess Street, 3 parcels west of its intersection with North 18th Street. Photos from 1982 show the bungaloid sash windows as described in the National Register nomination. The applicant proposes to replace 18 existing wood frame windows with new wood composite replacement windows framed with mortise and tenon joint construction. Staff has recommended repairing the existing windows, but the applicant would prefer replacement. The replacement, these are the windows that will be, some of the windows that will be replaced. The proposed replacement windows will be acclaimed by Renewal by Anderson replacement windows constructed of Fibrex, a wood composite comprised of wood fiber blended with polymer. The composite wood material, was chosen for its longevity when compared to modern wood, while trying best to replicate the existing house to maintain the historic character of the dwelling. While the proposed replacement windows will be custom built to properly fit the existing window openings, 7 of the proposed replacement windows will be slightly shorter than existing window openings due to the maximum height Renewal by Anderson can build specific windows. To address the slight difference in size, the replacement units for these 7 windows will be brought even to the stool at the bottom, while the remaining size difference will come down from the top. Square stops that cover the gaps at the top of these 7 windows on the interior, while L trim will cover the gaps on the exterior. The proposed windows will feature a modified grille pattern to match the existing windows that will be replaced. The proposed replacement windows will use full divided light grilles to replicate the 3/1, 4/1, and 5/1 existing windows. The existing windows to be replaced have experienced significant deterioration, including broken and non-functioning pulleys, inoperable sashes, and signs of rot beneath the chipped paint. If approved, staff recommends the following conditions. All glazing shall be clear with no tint. Only the 7 window openings requiring slightly shorter window units shall be physically altered in size as a result of the proposed project. All construction shall meet code, and all proposed changes shall be reviewed. Staff would like to enter the presentation and report into tonight's record of tonight's proceedings. Are there any questions?
Questions?
No.
Can you repeat what staff's recommendation was?
The following conditions. All glazing shall be clear with no tint.
No, I'm sorry. I should have said that differently. What was the recommendation, like?
Oh, I recommended that they repair instead of replace, and they feel that the windows are too far. They've provided evidence of the rot, so that's why I brought it to you folks.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. Would the applicant like to step forward and address this? Please state your name and address.
Diane McBroom, 1707 Princess Street.
Jeffrey Goldman, 4905 Market Street, Wilmington.
Would you like to add anything to this?
I understand that you all's job is very important, and you are charged with protecting the integrity of the historic district. I, as a homeowner, totally appreciate that. I love my house, I love what it looks like, but I also have to live in it. And the current windows, when it was suggested that I replace them or repair them, some of it is just not possible. The panes are broken. As you can see in these pictures, the wood is just, it's crumbling as we speak. I have several windows that are about ready to fall out. I can't let my cats near them because I'm scared they're just gonna go completely out. And I'm really not sure how we would even start the process of repairing, which is why I would love for you all to approve replacing them, and then I can open my windows up and get fresh air.
So I'm a representative of Anderson, and I can speak a little bit to a wood composite, if that helps. I have a sample here. So I've seen it made. I've seen the manufacturing process, and it is wood. I mean, particle board you can call wood, OSB board. The Federal Trade Commission allows you to call all that wood. So when it's really ground up between 2 huge discs to the fiber stage, and it looks like insulation, you know, like the Pink Panther, pink, except it's very wet. And it goes into a dryer and comes out very fluffy. At this point, it's 100% wood. It gets formed and it goes on conveyors, and spray guns are set up, automatic spray guns to spray resins and waxes that really help the molecules bind together. So you can't call it a hardwood because it has other material in it, but it's the basic, core material is a wood material. The Anderson Fibrex developed about 30 years ago, and because it's a wood product or it's wood, that's why we put it together with a mortise and tenon, the way wood furniture is put together. When it's finished, when it's complete, I can show you it's butt joint. So it doesn't look like a vinyl or another window with a, you know, a miter corner and glue and so on and so forth. If you'd like to see this. So the end product, I think Stephen was saying, if it matches 100%, that's a good thing. So that's what we set out to do. And nowadays, the longevity, even new wood now is not really, in my opinion, I should say, like for like. They harvest trees very fast. And pine is not, the rings are so far apart, it's super soft. It's not really like for like the old days of wood, and that's very tight, you know? So I think that's why these companies are going to this. So I'm a little nervous, though. That's kind of the best I can say, short of showing you, the wood and being able to do this and have the longevity. We're actually able to, like Ben, right, was saying, no one can tell from the outside that that window has been brought up to the stool to cover, to any gaps that are up there. And then we have a Fibrex trim that also, if there is any sort of a gap, so site-wise, you couldn't tell the difference. There's something else, I think. Even the exterior grids to do are made of Fibrex. So those grids they'll last, I can't say forever, but we're able to match like for like with an exterior grid that's exposed to the elements, especially down here. So would anyone like to see this?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. You're doing great.
If I can ask a question, you need to go back there, yeah. It also states that several of the windows, due to their length, are going to require to be shorter because your product is, you guys who have no windows that long. How are you going to fill that, rectify that? What are you going to do with that?
Okay, I'm sorry. So those 7 windows, when you open a window, you see the windowsill. And usually a window frame is recessed below that. We're able to actually bring that window up, put a board underneath it, a PVC or something. Again, you won't see it. So that 1 inch short, we're actually going to raise the window at installation to make it even with the inside stool. You couldn't tell from the outside, but that's where we're going to make up the difference, and it'll go against the stop, what's called a stop, at the top of the window, which is just, they already have a stop now. There are 1, 2, 3 stops.
Would you approach that repair the same way if you were using a 100% wood window and not a composite?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Would you approach that repair the same way if you were using a 100% wood window and not composite?
Would I install it the same way?
Yeah, would you install it the same? Like, have you found a solution that works for installation?
Yeah, if you couldn't, if the machinery can't make something.
You got it.
Yeah.
Right.
You'd have to do that.
Okay.
Does that answer the question?
Does Anderson actually make any wood windows?
They do nothing that's exposed wood exterior.
Okay. This sample, to me, it looks, one of the prohibitions is vinyl coated wood, and this, to me, looks more vinyl than wood. This sample here, it looks like plastic.
I can only speak to what the customers think. It looks like wood, because everything else out there, you could see glue lines and gook, and it's plastic windows. Just from what I've experienced. That capstock is put on, so it's weather resistant. Doesn't absorb heat, doesn't absorb cold, doesn't bend, doesn't absorb any kind of moisture.
Right.
So.
No, it wouldn't.
I think a little bit of our problem is, we don't require always that you repair old windows, but we've always done a wood replace window with a wood window with a wood window replacement. And this, again, is straying way off of what we've always done.
Yeah.
Even though it's a wood product, you mean?
No, we're going back to that same issue. And it does look to me like it's vinyl coated. It doesn't feel like wood at all.
It's very,
And not that I'm against that
gasoline
product.
is a dinosaur, but it doesn't look like a dinosaur, okay? It's kind of like, this is so far off now, it's like, I just can't see this. Okay, granted, it might be a wood product, but boy, where the wood is in here, to me, this is really plastic looking. And remember, we're trying to keep this looking like historic. Also, there are folks around town. Have you approached anyone to see about possibly fixing these windows?
I've asked several people, and they said it would triple the cost.
Ma'am, please speak into the mic.
I'm sorry. I have asked several builders as to replacing or repairing the windows, and they said it would triple the cost and probably extend the the project double in
Okay.
length of time. And some of them can't be repaired. The glass is broken.
Well, glass,
So, I mean,
yeah.
I would have to get new glass for actually several of them.
yeah, I mean, in my house is 1896, and yeah, I do have several panes that are more modern glass because it was broken, but still the glass can be replaced.
There are several companies around town that repair old windows, and I think the reason that repair is recommended is because that's the recommendation in the standards. Wooden windows are designed to have every component repaired over and over again, because when your house was built, there weren't vinyl windows or composites, so it was like, is the sill rotted, we'll replace that. Is some glazing messing up the glass, we'll take care of that. So the initial design was made to just keep repairing. However, you know, if you're saying that you want to replace, and what our job is to decide whether what you're replacing it with is congruent with and in keeping with the standards. So that's where we're at.
Would you have a problem if we approve this if you replace with wood windows? I mean, not this composite, but wood.
You guys don't have them?
It would still have, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, it would still have to have some sort of exterior coating, or, because we just don't make anything that exposes raw wood to the elements.
Well, we've approved a lot of gen weld windows and they're wood, and I believe they have some kind of coating on them.
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah.
they work quite nicely.
Well, like I said, it would have to, it couldn't be a raw wood exterior. It would be coated with
Would you consider continuing this till next month and bring in a sample of what a wood window what you would do if we
if I could,
requested
sure.
a wood window?
Sure.
My suggestion too would be to talk to Legacy Architectural and the Historic Wilmington Foundation. They have vendors who fix the ropes and pulleys.
Yeah.
We've done them in all of ours. Stevens Hardware, you know, replaces the window frames, the busted out window frames. There are vendors that they can recommend that are trained to fix the rotten wood. Our houses, whenever we, and we all do, we modernize them and we change them. We put in, you know, HVAC systems. We put in, you know, mess with the crawl space, and they start breathing differently, and it's just what happens to these old homes. And these windows are beautiful. They're and I think it's worth talking to them and getting some quotes on repairing and painting the ones that are really bad, and glazing and painting them instead of replacing them.
Well, quick question. Do those same companies you mentioned, do they make all new? If some of them are beyond repair, can they still make a new one? Okay.
One that can rebuild the entire window.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's really my question.
Yeah, yeah.
Were they strictly repair, or could they do repair and
No,
replace?
because the guy he was talking to me one day, and he was happy as a lark because he paid an exorbitant amount of money for a router bit just to make a certain mutin in our windows. So yeah, he's pretty adamant, and we have people like that.
And windows are, as you know, and your house is beautiful, and windows are defining, they're you know, defining character, not just in our historic district, but also, you know, in our homes. That's why they want materials replaced with like materials, because they're so important to the character, not just of the house, but also to the district. This won't be particularly meaningful to you because we don't know each other, but I had 26 original windows repaired in my house. I have all 26 original windows. My house was built in 1935. So it's possible. It is possible. I respect where you are, and I get it.
So considering that we're approaching holidays, do you think you could continue this till next month? And I understand the urgency of doing this and the condition of where your windows are. Do you think if we continue this till next month, that you could come forward with what your decision is, whether repair or do a new wood replacement?
Yeah, I
Do you
could-
think that's doable?
Well, it gives me enough time to find a more appropriate material that you guys want. I mean, I could do it within that time frame.
And then maybe look a little bit into the repair issue, and maybe some windows are salvageable or whatever, but I know Thanksgiving's coming on, so just to make sure that you could do this by the December meeting. Does that sound okay to
I
everybody?
just have a quick question. Yeah, sure, we can do whatever needs to be done. When we have to make decisions like this, when you all have to make decisions like this, and I know this is my house, I came and I bought it, and I'm responsible for it. But when you all make a decision that is going to impact my budget on this project and the length of time, is there a program that the city of Wilmington has that will assist homeowners in not going so deep in our pockets because of regulations being imposed upon us? I mean, do you all have grants? Is there anything? Because I will tell you, I have put a boatload of money into this house so far, and it's just getting more and more and more and more and more. And every time I have another project like this, it just seems like, wow, everyone has their own ideas of what needs to be done, but they never look at the cost because they're not bearing the cost. I'm bearing the cost, and I'm more than happy to do whatever you guys tell me to do, but I sure would love some help from the city of Wilmington to help keep Wilmington looking pretty the way that Wilmington wants to look pretty. So if anyone can send me off in a direction as to helping get this project done in the least amount of time, incurring the least amount of expense, and making you all happy, I would love any suggestions that you've got as far as that's concerned.
Do we have any programs at the city?
Didn't Historic Wilmington Foundation have something at one time?
Historic Wilmington Foundation had Florence Fix-It grants after Hurricane Florence.
Yeah.
Yes, but that was specifically for.
I don't think there's anything that would help you in the near term.
There's an owner-occupied program. I can forward you the link in the
Okay.
morning. I've never used it. I don't know the requirements. I don't know if you'll meet the guidelines or whatever, but there is something out there.
But again, if it's between putting in new wood windows or repairing these, and there's a huge budget difference, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, Gina, I don't think we can force them to repair windows if it's twice as expensive as putting in new wood windows. So we wouldn't do that.
No.
But correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that is correct. I think price consideration is always something, especially for the homeowner. And I do want to point out that like materials does not mean identical. I do want to make that statement because that issue has come up over and over tonight.
And I think that you'll find that repairing is going to be much cheaper than replacing the windows.
You see, I'll look because that's not the information that my contractor
Explore
has been
that,
telling
you
me.
know, and talk to Legacy and talk to some people about fixing.
But then again, to really appreciate your time, the condition you're in, that there's some urgency here.
Yeah,
So-
every time it rains hard, I have a waterfall
Yeah.
out of the light fixture in my dining room because of the water coming in through the windows.
So just to do things, if we continue just till December, do things as quickly with, all these considerations, and we won't force you to do something that's against, but I don't think we can approve of that window, sorry. And most of the precedent is when we have replaced wood windows, it's always been a wood window. So we really can't change that at this point.
Just out of curiosity, I couldn't tell in the picture, are there any storm windows on this house?
Yes.
Yeah, they're all over the house.
Okay,
I mean, Ashley
so
probably
water-
knows my windows better than I do.
Okay,
She
but
looks
so-
at them.
So water is
There are storm windows on there.
Yeah.
getting all this water with storm windows?
It's big, I mean, you can see some of the rot of, I mean, you can touch some of this stuff. I tried to open a window and the whole siding of it just crumbled. into sawdust.
Okay, I'm just kind of, if you have because I have storm
Yeah.
windows, and basically, that stops the rain.
Yeah, the storm windows aren't sealed. They don't,
I don't know who put the storm.
they're not sealed. Then there's gaps, it's not sealed. It's not like if you were to buy a new storm window and it goes up and there's a gasket that seals. These are not, there are gaps everywhere.
Oh, so,
And the other problem with the storm windows is I can't get to most of them because I can't get these windows open.
yeah.
And I can't get some of the windows closed, so.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay.
No, go ahead. You open up the evidentiary portion. Does anyone wish to come forward and speak in favor or against this? We'll close the evidentiary portion. I think we've deliberated already.
I mean, if they agreed, just, yeah, we're going to do wood windows, would we approve it?
Ms. Rutledge,
I
can you
can't
talk
hear
into
you.
the mic?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
can't hear what you're saying.
I'm sorry.
Can't have sidebar conversations, has to be on the mic.
Right.
Yes, we have consistently approved wood replacement windows.
Right, so if she says, I'm going to do wood, can we just take her at her word and say we will?
And we'd have to do the administrative bypass if they would do that, because they'd have to make,
I hate to have her having water damage.
no, I agree.
So if she was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and do the wood, then that would mean
Can
that
we do that by bypass?
Yes, that would be a bypass one.
You want to come forward again, please? Rather than have to continue to come before us again, if you agree to do a wood window replacement, you just have to get their approval with when you show them what you want to do. If you,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not change of material.
But please look into the other option, because I think it's going to be cheaper.
I'll follow up with the applicant in the morning with
Okay,
some
great.
helpful links for her.
Can I just ask one quick question? In replacing them with wood windows, do you know what the material is that they're coated with? That's acceptable as long as it's solid wood or
We've
wood?
always done the Genwell, what is that called? The
Genwell.
Genwell
Yeah.
windows.
Ben, would you be able to show them, here are some that have been approved?
Yes, I
Could
can
you do that?
Yes.
Okay. That would probably, okay.
All right, thanks.
Okay, good. Do we have a motion? And we need to change what's in here, so we approve the wood
Oh.
window.
Motioning.
Approve.
Well, you're approving it, but you're changing it from the wood composite to a wood.
Do we
Would it
even-
be a continuance, and then if she can't find a appropriate window, she can
We
come
didn't
back?
want to continue.
We don't want to
because-
continue.
We're approving it that they're subject to coming forward with you to show them the window.
Okay, as long as she can find a good wood window then, okay.
So whatever motion has to include that.
Okay, I move to approve with conditions the request for window replacements without a change in material for the property located at 1707 Princess Street. This request is consistent with the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks based on the evidence provided, including the application and all attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing, and the staff report, conditions 1 through 4, and the additional condition that the windows be wood and will be approved via bypass.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Number 7.
Case 7 is for a request for an after-the-fact approval of the replacement of a formal flat-channeled metal roof at 114 North 8th Street with a striated metal roof. As described in the Wilmington Historic District Boundary Expansion Report, the John E. Taylor House, constructed in 1877, is a two-story L-shaped Italianate house constructed by the first African-American U.S. Customs deputy collector in Wilmington. The frieze has attic vents, and the house features brackets, 2/2 sash windows, a two-story porch, and transoms. The subject house is a contributing resource to the Historic District residential. As such, revisions to all facades of the building and the site are subject to design review in this district. The subject property is located on the east side of North 8th Street, 3 parcels south of its intersection with Chestnut Street. Photographs from circa 1991 and circa 2019 seen on this slide show what could be seen of the former flat-channel metal roof. The applicant is requesting after-the-fact approval for a roofing material change where the flat-channeled metal roof was replaced with a striated metal roof. The pre-existing metal roof was failing and actively leaking into the interior of the dwelling, resulting in substantial water damage to the structural integrity of the house. The applicant was unaware of the design review process and attempted to replace the failing metal roof with a similar metal roof without realizing that the striated metal roofing panels represented a change in material design for the roof. The striated metal roofing was chosen as a result of it being readily available to address the leaking roof situation as hurricane season was approaching, not as an intended design change. Staff notes that because of the two-story height of the house, the striated metal roofing is only noticeable along the roof edges from the sidewalk along the east side of North 8th Street and can only be partially seen from the sidewalk along the west side of North 8th Street. Other than the change of roofing material, no other alterations to the roof were observed. The metal roofing installed is panel lock metal panels in galvalume color, similar to the gray of the failing metal roof that was replaced. If approved, staff recommends the following conditions: that all construction shall meet code and any project changes shall be reviewed. Staff would like to enter the presentation and report into the record of tonight's proceedings. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Would the applicant like to come forward and speak to this?
Good evening. Adrian Hebert, 114 North 8th Street. I just want to start by saying it was never our intention to bypass the COA process or compromise the historic character of the home. We were facing an active leak that was putting both the structure of the house and our tenant at risk. It was an unexpected and stressful situation that we moved to address quickly, made even more difficult because we're not local. I'm serving at Fort Bragg. When we made the decision to replace the roof, we tried to be respectful to the possible home's historic appearance. We chose a metal roof to match the existing metal and picked a color that closely matched what was there before. To our eyes, there was no major visual differences of the work. We also chose a material that our roofer recommended to us based on its durability and high wind conditions in coastal or high salt environments. We truly didn't realize we needed COA approval beforehand and apologize for the oversight. Going forward, we're committed to following all the commission's processes and requirements. When my wife and I bought this property, we planned on moving here with our children after I retire from the Air Force, but life circumstances and financial challenges of ownership have since made it necessary for us to sell this home, so it's currently pending the sale. Our goal was to protect the property, care for our tenant, and preserve the look of the integrity of the house as best we could under the circumstances. We hope you understand the situation and approve the work as an after the fact. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant? Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to open up the evidentiary portion. Would anybody like to come forward to speak to this subject? No, well, thank you. We'll close that portion. Count the commission deliberation. I know.
Yeah, we have not allowed striated roofs, and actually, I did look it up. If you remember, not too long ago, we had after the fact for 8 South 7th Street, and the contractor had to remove and replace the entire roof. So I just very well can't say yeah to this one, and we made somebody redo their entire roof. I'm sorry. I'd overlook it.
I hate these because it's always like, it's never intentional. Like, it's so close that it's a mistake that happens a lot, and it's always like with good intentions, and so I really hate these.
So Ben had noted that the roof is not really visible from the street. Yeah. Is that something that the commission, that we would take into account?
I mean, you could still see it, and it is what it is. And by the way, if you look at the pictures, I don't know if you all stopped by and looked at this thing, but the edging is absolutely terrible. I mean, I don't know who put this on, how it was put on, but like the metal is just bent, nailed. It's not even a good job, to tell you the truth, at least in my opinion. And it's the wrong roof. You know, again, and now if we allow this one, then that opens the door, just bring them on. Let's just have 50 of them.
It looks bad. And if we do, it's going to continue. I hate it, but.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. I know, I mean, I really get the impression the homeowners were just trying to do right by the property and just didn't know.
I guess one of my internal questions to the county and the city, I'm assuming they got a permit to put the roof on, and doesn't anybody in the county say, hey, wait a minute, you might want to check on this? Do we have an answer on that one?
I do not believe the county requires you to get a permit for a roof replacement.
Ah, so you can just do it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I also think we've had situations where people are clearly abusive of not coming forward, and there are cases when there are actual innocent oversights. And I know I'm not sure if that's a just cause to make a difference or decide differently, but it's a rough one.
It is.
Well,
Agreed.
I don't
Agreed.
recall anybody coming to us and saying, well, I knew we couldn't do it, but we did it anyway. I mean, it's always a quote
It's not that they
oversight.
come and say that, but there's an MO that is recognized. Well, does anyone want to make a motion, or?
Motion to deny. I move to deny the request for after-the-fact roof replacement for the property located at 114 North 8th Street. This request is inconsistent with the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks based on the evidence provided, including the application and all attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing, and staff report, and there are no conditions because it's a denial.
All those in favor of the denial?
Oh, you got a second?
Oh, second. All those in favor of the denial?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed.
Aye.
So we're 3-2, so it doesn't pass. So what does that mean?
So it's a de facto approve? What is that?
No, we have to have 4 to have a
No, I'm
motion.
saying, but it was a denial.
I
so
don't
if we-
know. That's what I'm asking Gina.
It fails because there were not 4 approvals regardless, so it's just a
fails.
motion that fails to carry. Or
So your motion's failed. Because we have a 7-staff commission, and there's only 5 of us today, so you need a 4 for approval. There were 3 for denial and 2 for approval, so you're not approved. Come forward.
How would this affect us moving forward if we were, so I'm
Gina?
not sure where to go from here.
How does this affect the moving forward?
So I believe you can recall. Yeah, he either has to bring it into compliance. I believe that he could appeal the decision if he chose to.
The BOA.
And officially, it should go to Superior Court according to the statute, so that is being revised. So North Carolina statutes required this appeal to go to Superior Court. However, our rules of procedure are inconsistent with that, so we are fixing that. However, so you have to bring it into compliance or appeal it at this point would be the correct procedure.
So Gina, you said it's under contract right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so how does he do that?
That's one I need to think about for a minute. So it is under contract. When is the closing date?
Tuesday.
Oh, God.
So the violation goes with the property.
Property.
I can't offer you legal advice, but I do advise that you contact Mr. Applicant, your attorney or your closing attorney, immediately. But yeah, the violation carries with the property.
So in regards to bringing it into compliance, is there now a process where we would provide materials and ask what we need to change it to? Is that what happens now?
What was on the roof before? What material?
The roofer explained to me that it was a metal roof beforehand that was painted with a waterproof coating. So he replaced it with a more modern, durable metal roof, is what I was explained.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, if you used a galvanum roof like you use, but it was flat, the main problem is the striation. You
And
know,
because I saw earlier there was what looked to be I don't know the term striation
it's
compared
those
to the one that
little-
was approved
it's the little
earlier.
lines. Okay, on a normal standing seam roof, it's
Mhm.
flat, and then you have the seams. And if you look around the historic homes that have been replaced with standing seam, it's flat. But now, the product that was put on that home, your home, has striations. In other words, there's those little hips it's not flat.
It's
And that's
also
not
like-
the standard. That is not the
Okay.
traditional in Wilmington metal roof.
And I could take a closer look at the pictures, but the product that I was provided by the roofer had things that looked like seams. I don't know if seams and striations are two separate.
No,
It's
no.
different.
Okay.
So
Okay.
also the roof that you had is more of like a V point, and the standing seam is more of like a, kind of like a T. And the striations are the parts in
Yeah,
between, like
was
the
there a picture?
pan is the flat part, and there's striations, which add structural integrity to the pans, but traditionally they weren't there. And so we approved the flat panels. So there's kind of two things going on, which maybe Ben can give you some more information on.
Yeah, just one picture here I can show you if you want to come up
Yeah.
for a second here. Okay. You see the seams, that's the big part. Now you notice in between the seams you have these lines, oops, those are the striations. Okay, and we've not allowed those, and we've had houses put them on and they've had to replace them.
So just to be able to provide a course of action moving forward for, if the buyer were to take on the violation, they would need to fix that violation. How would they go about doing that?
Replace the roof.
Yeah, yes, but is there
Well,
a
they'd
process
come-
for
again,
that?
They'd have to come before.
So
for us
they
again.
would have to come and,
If they use a flat channel, that can be approved through the administrative
bypass.
bypass. Yep,
that's what, I
there's
guess,
no in-kind
so if
replacement.
I could have something to provide to say, hey, it needs to be replaced, but if you replace it with this, material, then it's been approved at this point,
It
or?
would be the standard, and Ben can tell you what that is, the standard metal roof that we approved downtown.
Yeah.
And it becomes a material fact that they need to know that they will have to
Oh, yeah.
replace the roof.
Yeah, and it's
So
been.
that they can do their
yeah.
due diligence to get the cost involved.
That's already been all agreed
Okay.
upon, that if this were to come
Yeah.
to a replacement, but just so that if there's a way that they would not have to then come and stand again before, if
Yeah.
I could just give them, hey, you will need to replace it, if you can replace it with,
With that, yeah.
then it's
through
been
bypass.
approved for replacement, and now you just have to do the replacement,
Right.
and we'll provide compensation for the
Ben,
cost.
Ben can approve, like if you had just gone to Ben and said, oh, I want another standing seam metal roof flat, he could approve that because you're not changing, basically. I mean, he has the
Right.
power for that.
And this may be, past the point, but when somebody acquires a property in this district, I was never notified of these processes, and, I've replaced roofs in the past on personal residences that, they don't require permits, they don't require, so when something like this happens and I replace a roof, and then
Oh.
I'm told after the fact that it was wrong.
Sir, I
Yes.
actually, I teach real estate, and I wrote a course on this, and I probably taught now 600 realtors in these 3 counties about this, but I haven't seen them all. So, if your realtor didn't tell you or explain to you, I can't help that.
Understood.
Just be aware that if you're in a historic district, wherever that is, ask.
Understood.
It's like an HOA, you ask, what's covered in the HOA. What are your bylaws? So it's the same with the historic district.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sorry. Item number 8.
We,
Item number 8.
what is 8, 613?
All right. Hearing 8 is for the proposed small small rear extension of 613 Chestnut Street. The subject house is a contributing resource to the Historic District residential. The property is zoned Historic District residential. Revisions to all facades of a building and site are subject to design review in this district. The subject property is located on the north side of Chestnut Street, one parcel west of the intersection with North 7th Street. The following property is description is adapted from the Wilmington Historic District boundary expansion. Built circa in 1873, the Sampson Riverbank House is a 1.5-story Italianate style dwelling with Gothic influences. It's 4-bay wide with 1-story front porch. The applicant proposes to extend the section of the rear north elevation of the house and extend the current kitchen. The staff notes that the proposed extension cannot be seen from the public right-of-way. The proposed addition will be approximately 7 foot 11 inches in width, 3 foot in depth, and 10 feet in height. The siding will be OSB pine siding and will match the existing siding style and color. New windows will be the Paleo Lifestyle Series double hung windows, concrete block foundation painted to match the current foundation. And here is going to be the other side of the elevation looking south. If approved, the staff recommends the following conditions. All doors and window glazing shall be clear with no tint. All materials from the house during the project shall be disposed of properly. All construction shall comply with code regulations and requirements. Changes to the project from the described application and submittals shall be reviewed by the Historic Preservation Commission and/or Historic Preservation staff. The staff would like to enter the presentation report on their court records of tonight proceedings. Are there any questions?
Any questions for staff?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would the applicant like to come forward to speak to this? Please state your name and address.
My name is William Groves. I live at 1118 South 3rd Street. I'm a licensed general contractor, 104620.
Do you have anything to add to this?
I thought I heard OSB. The siding is going to be double-dried treated pine.
Yeah,
It
I
looks
heard that
identical.
OSB thing in there. I was wondering.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to stay away from the OSB. I follow the historic perspective. I've done a lot of work downtown, and that's my intent with this project.
Any questions for the applicant?
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Opening up the public hearing part. Does anyone wish to speak to this project, for and against, or against? We'll close the evidentiary hearing. Deliberations, commissioners?
An easy one.
Yeah, it seems nicely done
Yeah.
and really in scale and with all the proper materials. It's, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, I would make a motion. I move to approve with conditions the request for a small rear addition for the property located at 613 Chestnut Street. This request is consistent with the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks based on the evidence provided, including the application and all attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing, and the staff report.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Number 9.
All right. Hearing 9 is for 507/509 Grace Street. The proposed project is to paint the unpainted brick of the house, including the porch, columns, and west boundary wall. The following property description is adapted from the Wilmington Historic District boundary expansion. The Edgar Hart House, circa 1920, is a large two-story duplex with a pyramidal hipped roof, dormer, two-tiered porch supported by brick piers. The subject house is a contributing resource to the Historic District residential. Revisions to all facade of a building and the site are subject to design review in the district. The subject property is located on the west side of Grace Street between North 5th Avenue and North 6th Avenue. The brick porch columns and foundation have experienced numerous repairs and varying degree of skill. So the applicant proposes to paint the unpainted brick to give the dwelling a more uniformed appearance. Additional information has been provided by the applicant and Blackburn Masonry for the commission. The information reads as follows. The existing leaning brick wall, west boundary line, will need to be demolished at least halfway down as it is structurally unsound and cannot be restored. Additionally, please note that the new mortar and color in brick will not perfectly match due to variations of aged brick and joints on the column's foundation. This is from Blackburn Masonry. It is to our understanding that the applicant intends to paint the brick wall once restoration is completed. Here, the applicant has not chosen a specific paint and is willing to use a type of masonry paint recommended by the commission that would be appropriate to achieve the uniform appearance and protection from the elements. Here are some of the proposed paint colors for the front of the south elevation. If approved, staff recommends the following conditions. All paint to be used on the unpainted brick shall be masonry paint designed to be breathable and avoid trapping moisture in the underlying masonry. All construction shall comply with code. Any changes to the project will be reviewed by the Historic Preservation Commission and/or Historic Preservation staff. Staff would like to enter the presentation and report on record for tonight's proceedings. Are there any questions?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would the applicant like to come forward? Please state your name and address.
My name is Renee Garris, 507, 509 Gray Street.
Do you have anything to add to this?
No.
No?
Said everything.
Any questions for the applicant?
No.
Nope. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Opening up the evidentiary portion, would anyone like to come forward and speak in favor or against this project? Close that public hearing portion. Commission deliberation? Anything?
Well, I do want to remind you that standards for masonry and stone.
Yeah, we
I'm
can't
sorry.
hear you.
Yeah, I know. The 3.34, it is not appropriate to apply
Mr.
paint or
Sulky,
other
you need to
coating.
speak closer into your mic.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to read. Okay, it is not appropriate to apply paint or other coatings to unpainted masonry elements that were never painted. That's in the standards, 3.3, number 4.
And I would say those are just guidelines because these, the brick looks terrible the way it is. So that the painting it is an improvement.
It's still against the code, and I looked in what it is. There's been some horrible work here. I mean, just slapped on Portland cement. But, you know.
Again, Gina, if it's guidelines, we don't have to exactly follow this, correct?
That's correct. It is just the guidelines, and it's the standards. So whether you deviate from the standards is the decision of the commission.
Thank you. And I guess it would, depending on if the case warranted, which to me it seems like it clearly does, in my opinion, does here.
I'm wishing that we had Ross and Chris here to talk about what happens to the integrity of the brick when it's painted. I know that can be an issue, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of historic districts don't allow painting stone or brick, because it can mess with the integrity of the natural material.
Yeah, if you have soft brick in Portland, or I'm sorry, in limestone mortar, and you paint it, you can trap moisture in the brick, and that causes everything to crumble, basically.
This is a difficult one because I completely agree. Like, it needs some help. But I don't know if paint is the help or if it will hurt. Do you have any insights?
Well, I mean, in the case, it talks about like more masonry-specific paint, and then there's also like lime wash options, which I saw in there. I mean, if we could determine that one of these is better for the brick, it seemed like it would be an improvement on the appearance, and I mean, maybe we could get some kind of comparison, but I think I agree. I think that it would be an improvement, and I mean, we don't want to mess up the structural integrity, but I think if there's a masonry paint or a lime wash that would not alter that, I think it would be a good thing.
Yeah. Is lime wash different? Does the material react differently to a lime wash than to a paint? Do you know?
I don't know enough about masonry paints, but I mean, lime wash is like, I think just diluted lime.
Right.
And I mean, a paint specialist would definitely be able to tell us like what would be best, but.
In my experience in West Virginia, lime wash was the go-to on any unpainted brick or masonry. I don't know how it reacts down here, but in West Virginia it was cheap, it was easy.
Right.
It did the job and it protected, it was breathable because it's lime. The lime wash is a natural element. It allows the moisture to move in and out as needed.
Okay. Question for the applicant.
Did you want to come up, I don't know.
Yep, but please come up and say your name and address and speak into the microphone.
Ma'am, were you sworn in? I don't believe you were here when I swore people in. If you could come to the microphone, raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And state your name and address for the record.
Hi, I'm Tori Fish. I'm at 1703 Pope Court in Wilmington. I'm just speaking on having used lime wash as a product before, not in a historic project per se. It is made out of lime material, as opposed to, you obviously don't want to use a latex product on brick. And one of her inspiration images was a diluted where the brick still comes through. So just as a input for that.
Thank you. Can the applicant come forward? I have a question. Have you discussed these with the painter that's going to do the project, these issues?
I have talked to the brick mason, yes.
And what have they said to you?
It's especially the wall. The wall needs
Ma'am,
repair.
please step forward to the microphone.
Can't hear you.
The wall needs to be repaired because it's leaning, so he was proposing to knock half down, but I was told I could not do that, so, but it needs major repair, so. But,
And as to the paint, did you discuss that? Did he discuss that with
whatever
you?
the board agreed upon, so.
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. Are we talking about a painter or a mason?
The mason and I guess with the painting's on there, because we want to paint, but it needs repairing also.
So there's two people involved, a
Yes.
mason and a painter?
Yes,
Okay.
the wall has to be repaired.
Okay, and the mason can repair the wall,
mason-
point it up, or
I'm sorry, I didn't.
can he point the wall up to fix it? I
The
mean,
mason-
that's re-grout,
Yes.
According to the submission, they're going to take apart the top part of the wall at least, maybe down, it looks like maybe even 2/3 because it is in bad shape, and then reconstruct it back in the same location. is the way I
Okay,
understand it.
that's, all right.
And the painters discussed this issue with painting?
The way it was brought to me is the painter's cool using whatever you guys are agreeable to.
Well, okay, so has the mason say anything about lime washing here, or that wasn't brought up?
That was not brought up, no, he did not.
Okay, okay. Well,
Can we go by bypass to the painter to go into detail with you on this? That the do more of a extensive requirement on the type painting? And have that done through Ben?
We're finding out here, hang on.
It's not an easy night.
His microphone died. So, yes, I believe we could make that a condition, that it could be approved, but we need to clearly articulate the reason for the deviation and the clear parameters on that deviation. And then, so that would include what could be approved.
And it would just be, everything's approved except the painting process and the painting materials would come by bypass to Ben.
Yes.
The appropriate things for brick, and we'd have to put that in the motion.
Yes. And we do need to articulate why we are making, the cause for making the
For
deviation.
fear of deterioration of the brick.
Yes.
Okay. You understand? So we're going to approve, but then Ben needs more information.
I'll send you an email in the morning.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So do we have a motion?
I move to approve with conditions the request for painting unpainted masonry after brick and mortar repairs for the property located at 507-509 Gray Street. This request is consistent with the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks based on the evidence provided, including the application and all attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing, and the staff report, conditions 1 through 3, and the additional condition that the paint specifics will be handled via bypass.
And why?
Because we need additional information on protecting the structural integrity of the brick.
A second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
I am, no.
We pass 4-1.
Okay.
It's approved. Number 10?
Hearing 10 is for the proposed project to remove a small brick chimney from the side west elevation of the Chestnut Street Presbyterian Church at 712 Chestnut Street. As described in the Wilmington Historic District Boundary Expansion Report, the Chestnut Street Presbyterian Church, constructed in 1858, is a front gable church with a Carpenter Gothic architectural style. The church features a barge board with drop pendants, board and batten siding with paired round arch windows set in blind round arches, and a square bell tower with cross gable roof. The subject building is a contributing resource to the Historic District Residential, and it is a local historic landmark. Revisions to all facades of the building and the site are subject to design review. The subject property is set back from the south side of Chestnut Street, approximately mid-block between North 7th and North 8th Streets. The applicant proposes to demolish and remove a small brick chimney located on the west elevation of the church as seen in the circa 2008 and current photo on the slide. The chimney proposed for removal is a utilitarian chimney that does not appear to contribute to the architectural significance of the church. And while the chimney appears to be over 50 years of age, it does not appear to be original to the building. Only the top of the clay flue extends above the roof line, while the square brick chimney extends from the eaves to the concrete chimney foundation and can only be seen from the west side of the church. During a renovation project that includes repairing and replacing the cypress wood board and batten siding in kind while re-insulating the church walls, the existing unused chimney was determined to be in a deteriorated condition. As such, if approved, the brick chimney and clay flue liner will be carefully demolished as to not cause any damage to the sanctuary walls. During this process, the stained glass windows on either side of the chimney and air conditioner condenser will be temporarily covered with plywood to protect them during the completion of the demolition process. The concrete chimney base will be removed and a new concrete footing to support the new single-width brick wall will be added. The new single-width brick foundation wall will be constructed in line with the existing foundation wall to match this section of foundation behind the removed chimney. Once the chimney and clay flue are removed, the penetration point of the flue through the roof will be patched with matching roof materials and coated to match the existing roof. The applicant has also proposed to remove the deteriorated crawl space door made of T11 wood siding and raise the brick sill and install a new treated wood crawl space door frame with a hinged 3/4 inch PVC crawl space door. The brick sill will be raised to help minimize water intrusion into the crawl space during heavy rain events. If approved, staff recommends the following conditions. The sections of the building's foundation, exterior wall, and roof from where the chimney will be removed shall be restored to match the other areas of the church. No mature trees or historic landscape shall be removed as a result of the project. All materials removed from the church as a result of the proposed project will be disposed of properly. All plywood coverings installed for protection shall be removed at the completion of the project. All construction shall meet code, and any proposed changes shall be reviewed. Staff would like to enter the presentation and report into the record of tonight's proceedings. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Thank you. Would the applicant like to step forward and speak to this? Please state your name and address.
My name is Paul Thompson. Address is 6600 Rosegate Lane, Wilmington.
Do you have anything to add to this?
Not really. I just came down to watch the proceeding. Wasn't prepared to make a speech.
Oh, okay.
But we appreciate whatever you can do for us.
Thank you. Any questions for the
I
applicant?
just out of curiosity, I looked at that chimney and probably, I don't know, that kind of concrete and brick circa 1940 or so. Was there like a kerosene stove or something put in there to heat
I'm
the
not
church?
that old. I'm not that old yet, but we never had. I've been in the church. I'm 72 years old, and I've been in the church for that period of time, and I've never seen a stove on that side of the church.
Okay, and there's no like inside a round circle with metal where a chimney
No.
had been or something? Okay.
No, not at all.
It's kind of weird that, okay.
Not at all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Opening up the evidentiary portion, does anyone wish to speak to this project? Closing the evidentiary portion, commission deliberations?
I'm totally fine with that.
Motion, anyone?
I'll do it. I move to approve with conditions the request for the removal of a small brick chimney for the property located at 712 Chestnut Street. This request is consistent with Wilmington design standards for historic districts and landmarks based on the evidence provided, including the application and all attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing, and the staff report.
A motion, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Number 11?
Right here, let's see.
Hearing 11 is for 1519 Princess Street for new windows and doors for the rear elevation. The applicant proposes removing 2 existing exterior doors and replacing them with new wooden double French doors, a new window matching the adjacent first floor rear porch window, replacing the deteriorated lattice in kind. The Bergwin Carpenter House, built in circa 1925 and is designed by architect James B. Lynch, is a 2.5-story dwelling blending prairie-style and colonial revival elements. The dwelling features a sandy brick exterior, a low-hipped roof, and wide overhang eaves. The rear facade features 2-story full-width wood-clad addition with a partially enclosed porch. The subject house is contributing resource to the The house is a contributing resource to the Carolina Winoka Terraced Historic District overlay. Only that which can be seen from the public right-of-way, excluding alleyways, is subject to design review. The subject property is located on the northwest corner at the intersection of North 16th and Princess Street. The applicants propose removing 2 existing exterior doors and installing a new set of French doors. The proposed new door will be 81 inches by 74 inches, French door with white oak silk sills, Roman OG trim, and oil-rubbed bronze finishes. The applicant proposes adding a new window matching the adjacent first floor rear porch window. The new window will be a 6/1 ultimate single hung G2 window, extruded aluminum exterior, wood interior to resemble the existing window. The applicants propose replacing the deteriorated wood lattice on the second story with in-kind matching wood lattice. The applicants propose to repair any brickwork and use salvageable bricks from the house when possible to maintain consistency. Staff notes the following. The property is on a corner lot. The porch is not highly visible from public right-of-way due to the fence. Here are the products. Staff notes the following. The existing masonry material to be removed should be properly disposed of and not left on the property. All doors and window glazing shall be clear without tinting. All new brick and mortar shall be cohesive to the size, color, texture, and shape as the original brick. All construction shall comply with code regulations and requirements, and any changes from that described in the application and submittal shall be reviewed by the Historic Preservation Commission and/or Historic Preservation staff. Staff would like to enter the presentation and reports to the record of tonight's proceedings. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Would the applicant like to come forward and address this project? Please state your name and address.
Hey, I'm Tori Fish with Bellwood Building and Design. I'm 1703 Pope Court. This is the rear elevation of the home. The client is looking to allow more light to come and enter the back of the home. And as this is inside the screen porch, we're hoping that there is really, truly no visibility of any sort of changes. There's an existing French door package that leads from their formal living room onto the back porch, and we hope that to match that in every way possible with this additional French door. So there is already a double French door set on the rear of the house. And same with matching. We've always used Geldwin products, so I wanted to just make sure and confirm that we've always used Geldwin wood windows. So I just want to make sure we've got all of that correct. That would be a fully wood window. We just feel that a newer, completely wood window next to this older window, it's best to replace both of them at the same time with fully wood products.
Any questions for the applicant?
And you think you have plenty of bricks from that other window opening to fill in so everything matches?
Yeah, we're hoping that the roll lock on this slightly higher door, it's strange, it's a staircase that leads up to a second floor. I'm assuming at some point in time it was a help of the house access point. And so we're going to essentially use the right-hand side of that slightly higher door all the way over to the left side of that single door to put this French door package in, and we would continue the roll lock of that higher level door for the new 8-foot height. So essentially that roll lock of brick that you see above the higher door would just extend across. To make it look as though that opening has always been the same. So we're basically encompassing these two side door openings and that small bit of brick between them into one full door package.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Opening up the evidentiary portion, does anyone wish to speak to this project? Closing that portion, commission deliberations?
I have to say, I really liked how the French doors and doing the other window seemed to really honor the prairie style of the home. There's a lot of symmetry. I do not think that it's original to have these two doors with, one has stairs, one doesn't. Obviously, those were not done at the same time. I think what they're trying to do is, I think they're trying to honor the house, and I appreciate the way that they're doing that.
Anyone else? Anyone want to make a motion?
I can make a motion. I move to approve with conditions the request for the replacement of existing doors and addition of a new rear window for the property located at 1519 Princess Street. The request is consistent with the Wilmington Design Standards of Historic Districts and Landmarks based on the evidence provided, including the application and all attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing, and the staff report.
Second, anyone?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Number 12.
Case 12 is for a request for an after-the-fact approval of the enclosure of a rear porch and extension of the rear porch at 707 Gray Street that began without an approved COA, while also proposing to complete the project if approved. As described in the Wilmington Historic District Boundary Expansion Report, the simple gable front house at 707 Gray Street, constructed circa 1915, features a central entry with a transom and hipped roof front porch supported by square columns. The windows are 6/6 sash units, and an interior chimney extends from each slope of the gable roof. The subject house is a contributing resource to the Historic District residential. As such, revisions to all facades of the building and the site are subject to design review in this district. The subject property is located at the north side of Gray Street, the second house east of its intersection with North 7th Street. The applicant is requesting an after-the-fact approval of work that began without an approved COA, including the enclosure of a rear porch and converting it into more living space, while also extending the rear porch into the backyard. Photos on this slide show the condition of the rear north elevation prior to the project. Per the applicant, a contractor was hired to complete the project with the understanding that the contractor would complete all the necessary applications. Unfortunately, while the contractor began the work, no COA had been obtained, and the contractor vanished prior to completing the project. After finding a new contractor to complete the unfinished project, it was discovered that no COA had been obtained, so the application for the after-effect approval of the project with a COA to complete the project was submitted. The bulk of the work has already been completed, including pouring solid concrete foundation piers as footers for the new pressure-treated solid beam to support the enclosed rear porch and expanded rear porch. The decking of the expanded rear porch was installed to match the house, and the construction of a new constructing a new porch on the north elevation. With only minor work needed to complete the project. Although the initial contractor did not complete the work that has been done appears to have been completed in a professional manner. The alterations to the exterior of the house were confined to the rear north elevation and include constructing walls where the porch used to be, adding 2 French doors to the rear elevation to provide 2 exits onto the rear porch, and extending the rear porch further into the backyard. If approved, the applicant will proceed with completing the project, including cladding the rear elevation with wood siding matching the existing siding in size and reveal, and installing appropriate stairs and railing to access the rear porch. Only a small portion of the side of the east elevation of the enclosed porch and extended rear porch are visible from public right-of-way. The applicant has revised the proposed project to include removing the composite decking and replace it with 5/4 by 6 inch treated decking. Repair the back of the house using 1.5 by 6 inch pine siding to match the house. The trim will match the house as well. Install stairs to the front yard from the back porch with railings 2 inches by 4 inches at the top, and one with paired 2 inch by 2 inch pickets in between. With the stairs to have 1 by 8 inch kicks with 2 by 6 treads with no paint. If approved, staff recommends the following conditions. All of the glazing and the French door shall remain clear with no tint applied. All construction shall meet code, and any change proposals shall be reviewed by staff. Staff notes that the case summary and packet included the condition that, quote, the rear porch stairs and railing shall be approved through the administrative bypass once chosen, but since the applicant has provided the details regarding the proposed rear porch stairs, this condition is no longer necessary. Staff would like to enter the presentation and report into the record of tonight's proceedings. Are there any questions?
Ben, one question. At the end of the application that I have, it's like the back of a green house?
That's what it used to be.
So that's an old I got it.
Old
Okay.
picture, yep. Yeah,
All
the December 2020 photo is from the city archives, and the
Okay.
undated photo was provided by the applicant.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Thank you, Ben. Would the applicant like to step forward and speak with us about this? Please state your name and address.
Were you guys sworn in? I think you
No.
Okay, if you could raise your right hand, both of you. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, please state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, Carl Cross, 707 Gray Street.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to this?
Yeah, we obviously painted the house. We added a shed to the backyard as well. We got everything approved. I've always done everything by the book. So when I brought in this contractor and he promised me he was going to do everything, I trusted him on that. You know, we've paid him a fair amount of money. He promised me the whole time everything was tight, was good to go. My wife and I, we got married in the house. We had 2 kids in the house. It was going to be our, you know, forever home. And after a year and a half of this guy kind of running us ragged, he disappeared. He stole a bunch of money from us. You know, I want to do what's right. I want to make it right. Like I said, I always do everything by the book. So I'm embarrassed to be in this situation. You know, we were just trying to make our lives a little bit easier, create a little bit more living space for us and our kids. But yeah, anything we can do to make it right, just let us know.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Any questions for the applicant?
I just want to say I'm really sorry that that happened to you. There are unfortunately rotten people out there.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. It happens more than, it happens a lot.
Yeah, I've heard some
unfortunately.
stories since. I will always ask for a license
Yeah.
moving forward. You know, you live and you learn, so,
Right. Yeah, thank you.
of course.
Any questions for the applicant?
No, no.
Thank you. Good luck. Does anyone else wish to speak to this evidentiary hearing? No, we'll close that portion. Commission deliberation?
I'd like to approve.
Anybody else have anything to say? Then we can have a motion.
Yeah, I move to approve with conditions the request for the after-the-fact rear porch enclosure for the property located at 707 Gray Street. This request is consistent with the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks based on the evidence provided, including the application and all attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing, and the staff report.
Second, anyone?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All passes unanimously. Good luck. Okay, now we're on number 13 for the landmark status study.
Yeah.
All right. Hearing 13 is to add the property of 709 North 8th Street to the local landmark study list as a generational property with significance to African American heritage and education in the local Wilmington area. The subject property is a contributing resource to the National Register listed Wilmington Historic District. And since it is not located with any local historic district or any district overlays, the property is not subject to design review. The subject property is located on the west side of North 8th Street between Brunswick and Hanover Street, 3 parcels north of the intersection of North 8th Street and Hanover Street. The property description is adapted from the Wilmington Historic District boundary expansion. The 1-story gable front bungalow has an engaged shed porch supported by brick porch pillars, exposed rafter tails, and 4/1 sash windows, and a tripartite attic window vent. While the property first appears in the 1898 Sanborn map, the current structure first appears on the 1951 Sanborn map. The property remained in the same family since it has been purchased in 1885 by Isaac Lane. As of November 24th, 2025, the property will have been in the same family ownership for 140 years. Here we have Kaintuck Schoolhouse, still standing today as a North Carolina State Historic Site in Cary, North Carolina. Built in 1922, this is a Jim Crow era schoolhouse and is one of 800 built in North Carolina to give education to Black communities during the time of segregation. Sadie Williams, the granddaughter of Isaac Lane, was one of the school teachers at Rosenwall, Kentuck School after she graduated from Vale State. She was one of 2 school teachers at the time. Staff observations for the commission is as follows. The house is not original to 1885 plot purchased. The exact date of the current structure is unknown, but likely the dates between 1915 and 1951 based on the Sanborn maps. The Wilmington Historic District's nomination records the construction date of 1925, while the Historic Wilmington Foundation plaque documents the construction date as 1941. The property remains in the same family for 140 years despite the societal changes Wilmington experienced during the time. Again, the 140th anniversary is going to be on November 24th of this year. The family who has owned the property for generations has connections to the Rosenwall Kaintuck School, a state historic site. The chain of title and societal history has been researched and approved by the Historic Wilmington Foundation for its Rustis plaque, nominating it between 75 and 99 years old. Staff notes, listing the study list does not mean the property is being designated as a local historic landmark, and the formal local landmark application shall be completed before the property can be designated as an official local historic landmark. The study list application is reviewed by the Wilmington Historic Preservation Commission, and if the commission finds the property meets the minimum requirements for the consideration as a local historic landmark, the commission can add the resource to the study list and provide instructions on how the local landmark nomination should proceed. The staff would like to enter the presentation and report on the record of tonight's proceedings. Are there any questions?
I have a question. When we talk about landmarks, part of the value or part of the appreciation for this whole is the property was owned since 1885, even though it wasn't that house.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a distinction in terms of landmark status, that the house is not that old, even though the property has all that historic significance?
Correct. We are nominating it under the property, not particularly with the architectural building itself.
That's okay under landmark? Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure of what that...
It'll be under sites.
Gotcha.
The house would be a contributing feature on the property. It is over 50 years of age and would qualify as potentially individually eligible for National Register, and if approved for the study list, it would be appropriate for the study list as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Would the applicant, any questions?
Any other questions for me?
No.
All right.
Thank you. Would
Of
the
course.
applicant like to speak to this? Please state your name and address.
Tammy Graham, 709 North A Street. I just wanted to kind of emotional. Give them thanks for everything that they went through to get me this far in life. I know my great-great-grandfather had no idea that one of his great-great-grandkids would bring this to light like it is. Just want to give them homage and just thank you all for even accepting this. Thank you, Ben. And I'm very happy. Okay, these are tears of happiness, but just to consider my house, it is mine now, and consider what my great-great-grandfather did right after slavery. It's such an honor to be here. And thank you.
Oh, we appreciate it. We appreciate you. Thank you. There's no one here for evidentiary hearing, so we'll close that part. That was very emotional. We all feel touched by you. Thank you.
I think that that at its best, history connects people to place. I cannot think of a better example of connecting people to place than property that's been in the same family for 140 years. The city's grown up around it. This is beautiful.
You got kids going for another generation there? Okay.
Motion, anyone?
I'll motion if you want. I mean, where are we here? I move to approve with conditions the request to include property on the local landmark study list for the property located at Mary Etta Williams House, 709 North Front Street. This request is consistent with the Wilmington Design Standards for historic districts and landmarks based on the evidence provided, including the application and all attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing, and the staff report, condition 1.
Stephen, the date is wrong, or it says Front Street on here, but it's 8th Street.
What is? Oh. Yeah, where'd that come from? You're right. North 8th Street, amend that. Yeah, it's not Front Street.
Second, anyone?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? That passes unanimously. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any items from the staff?
No, ma'am.
Any
Actually,
items from the commission?
Staff would like to note that we've been getting scam invoices. So if you can warn your neighbors that if they get an invoice from the planning department and it doesn't look right, touch base with me or Brian, somebody, because people have been ripping off basically our letterhead and putting fake invoices out there. So we just want people to be aware and keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would like to say one thing with the one case we had here tonight. I know this is broadcast or whatever. When you hire a contractor, do not pay them a pile of money up front. Pay them as they go, pay them for materials delivered. Be very, very cautious. I mean, I used to do HOAs for a living, and I'm telling you, it's bad. So, you know, anybody listening to me tonight, yeah, if you have a contractor, hopefully they're reputable and good and all that wonderful stuff, but just don't hand them your checkbook. Don't do it. So.
Motion to close the meeting?
I move to close.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Second, amen.
Happy Thanksgiving.